Good morning. This is the second day of our outline work, and as promised, we are going to work on the college portion today. So I'm going to go back to my outline over here, and you can see for the choice of colleges, it should be Roman numeral X for yours. And so for my major, I'm going to highlight over here, and I'm just going to give my major as business management. And then for my minor, I'm going to do marketing. And for colleges, so you need to find the names of 3 schools that offer your major, and you have to give the name of the school, the address and the phone number, the website. So all of this information is needed for each college. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to increase the indent here, and then I'm going to actually delete this part because I don't need that one. So now I just have the name of school, and all of these items should be indented once more, right? So I'm going to highlight. I don't need to highlight the whole word, but I need to have the highlight touching every single thing. And I'm going to indent once. So I'm going to put the name of the school first, and then I need to give the address, phone number, and website. Now for me, I want the address and phone number and website to be on different lines. That's totally up to you. You can decide differently if you want. And I'm just getting this set up because I know I need to have 3 schools done. So I'm going to get this all organized so that so that it's all ready for me to go. So the expenses for 1 year. And then it has to assume that I'm living on campus. So we have tuition. And this one says be sure to check out for in-state or out-of-state rates. I'm going to delete that now because I don't really need that line in there. And what that is saying is for in-state schools, it's for a school. So if it's a state school, the in-state and out-of-state matter. So there's a lot of people that actually choice to UMass Amherst. A lot of kids from Rhode Island, all different states choice to decide to go to UMass Amherst. And people from our state choose to go to different state schools. The University of Virginia, we have a student at the University of Georgia. So anyone that chooses to go to another school, they often have to pay out-of-state fees. Now, some schools we have a reciprocal rating for. So for Maine schools, they advertise all the time that you can go to a state school in Maine for the in-state tuition price. So it depends on the state, but most states, if you decide to go to the University of California, you have to pay an out-of-state fee, which is going to be much higher than the in-state fee. So that's what that's for. So you have to be careful for that. So room and board, and they put in parentheses here that counts as like, the dorm costs and food. And then transportation costs and miscellaneous spending. So I have my categories all set up now, and right now I don't have any school, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these categories because I know I need to have it twice. So I'm going to highlight them. You can right click and copy, or you can do it's Control-C on ours. This is a Mac, so it has a different one. So I'm going to hit enter, and this says number 6. And I'm going to do up here the decrease indent. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure it says number 2, which it does. And so now I'm going to do Control-V to paste. Apparently I did not copy. Silly. So I'm going to do my copy. So you can also do edit copy. I'm going to go down to number 2 and I'm going to do my Control-V to paste. I'm going to hit enter again. I'm going to decrease indent again and again so that I'm at number 3, and I'm going to paste again. So now I have all of my categories all ready to go. So my next step, once that looks good and I'm ready to get my colleges, I am going to go back to our final project in Career Choice Outline. And I'm going to scroll down till I see this, college majors and career search. And this is for bigfuture.collegeboard.org. And this is an awesome, awesome website. I use it all the time. It's very helpful for many different reasons. So this is the College Board. So anytime you do SATs or PSATs or anything like that, that's through the College Board. Also, subject matter tests are through the College Board. And they put out this website, this Big Future, so you can look up different colleges. And so it's a really great way. So if you were searching by major and career search, so let's say you didn't know what school you wanted to go to. So then you could say like, oh, okay, like maybe it's business that I want to go to. So you can click and they'll tell you different careers, majors in business. And then you can search to find different schools that might have those majors. I'm going to go in knowing ahead of time what schools I'm going to search for. So the first one I'm going to search for is Bryant College. And that's a business school because they put business ones down. So I'm going to do Bryant and Bentley and Babson, 3 Bs. They're all local schools. So I search, so Bryant University, it's in Smithfield, Rhode Island. So the first page you go on when you get to this school is it's the at a glance. So you get sort of a general sense. So it gives the web address right there, and they also give it down below. And it tells you some quick facts. So it says it's a medium-sized school. It says how many undergraduates there are, and it gives you how many degree-seeking freshmen. So your freshman class would be about 843 students. And 77% graduate within 6 years. So you have a 0.75% chance of graduating within 6 years if you go to Bryant. So some people drop out of school, some people don't finish for whatever reason. And so you want this number to be as high as it can be because you want to be around a lot of students that are diligent with their studies so that you graduate on time. But that's still 77% is pretty decent. So we're going to go down here and it gives the address right down here. So it gives us our address. So we have Douglas Pike. So normally we're not copying, but for me, for addresses and things of that sort, I think that it's okay. If you do edit, paste without formatting. So I'm going to do comma, because that's the street address, and then it's Smithfield, comma, Rhode Island, state. So you need those commas separating the street address with the city with the state. And then the last thing I need is the zip code. So copy that zip code. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to do edit, paste without formatting. Now if I didn't do the paste without formatting, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. So I'm going to grab their phone number and their 401 area code. Copy that. So if I pasted without formatting, if I just paste, do you see that the font looks different? You do not want that in any document. So if you do that, you can either undo and do paste without formatting, or if you don't want to do that, you can just click somewhere where the font looks good, where it's the font of everything else, and up here is the paint format. Click on that, and then you have to highlight what you want to change, and it formats this. It changes the formatting to match the original formatting. And I forgot to put the name of the school, which was Bryant University. Okay, so their web address was bryant.edu, I think. Yep, so bryant.edu, so it is down here as well. So you can, there's many different ways to copy. We're going to do paste without formatting. I'll put a little space in there. Okay, so we have that. So now we need our expenses for 1 year. So again, this is not a state school. So my expenses are going to be the same, but I'm going to show you where you'd find that. So in terms of paying, we're going to click there. So they have a tab for in-state costs and out-of-state costs. So if you're picking an out-of-state school, you need to get the out-of-state costs. So in-state costs, so the tuition, I'm just going to copy that. Notice it's going to cost about $60,000 a year in total. College can be very expensive, which is why we're looking at this. So I'm going to paste without format. Oh, I did not copy that. So I hit undo. I'm going to go back. Copy. Paste without formatting. There we go. Then my books and supplies. The books and supplies are the next row down. So it's $1,300 for books and supplies. So I copied, paste, up. I forgot to do paste without formatting. Room and board, so that will get me my meal plan. And you have to be careful with your meal plan that you don't eat more than, when you go to schools, you're going to ask them about the number of swipes, because some schools have unlimited swipes, so you can go and eat as much as you want, whenever you want. In other schools, you get a certain number of swipes, and so you have to make sure you have enough food so that you're not starving. Transportation costs, so this is about $400 for in-state students, and I'm going to say that that's pretty decent for us since Bryant is local. It's not going to cost a lot of money to get you back and forth to school. And the miscellaneous spending, so they estimate about $1,000 for miscellaneous spending. So they have, pizza places that you can go to, and you can have delivery on, that will deliver to campus. So different things like that you might spend your money on, going to a movie, signing up. Sometimes they'll have different events that you can go to that you can sign up for. So most schools have like a spring fling weekend. They have activities. Usually, a lot of times they're free, but at any rate, that's what you'd spend your money on. So you're going to use this information when you make your college comparison spreadsheet. So I'm actually going to do, instead of doing the 3 Bs, I'm actually going to do UMass Amherst. Because they have an awesome business program, and then we can take a look at the in-state and out-of-state fees. The other thing when you're looking at this, the applying part will tell you how many people apply. So about 7,314 people apply to Bryant College. They admit about 4,900 people, and only 843 enroll. So you can see that they admit a lot more people than enroll to this school. So 67% of the applicants are admitted to this school, so it's somewhat selective. And they tell you here what's important for them. So your GPA and the rigor of your school record. So if you're taking some challenging classes, then that's awesome. If you always take the lowest level class and you're not really challenging yourself, then you might want to consider taking, a few more challenging classes. They look at your application essay, they look at your class rank, they look at your recommendations, and the standardized test scores. So each school is different, but it's helpful to look at this to sort of see what people look for when applying. The other thing to look at is SAT and ACT scores. So some schools are still looking at the SATs and ACTs, and not all schools are doing that, but some still are. So you guys would be taking it after March 1st. And so you can kind of take a look and you can see sort of what their SAT ranges are for this particular school. And you can look to see about their ACT scores. So what their composite scores are like, because there's 2 different kinds of standardized testing you can take, 2 different ones. And so some people like the ACT and some people like the SATs. And it just depends on your personal preference. Most colleges take both, but you need to look to see what they're looking for. Okay, so we're going to go back to the top and we're going to search for UMass Amherst. Excuse me. All right, so University of Massachusetts, and there's a few different ones. So we're doing University of Massachusetts at Amherst. So we click on the link. And so this one is a large 4-year public university. So the number of freshmen in this school, 4,690 freshmen. That's a lot. There's 23,000 people that are going to that school. The graduation rate is pretty similar to Bryant's, 76%. So it gives the address, the website, and we're going to go up to the paying now. So you can see the difference between in-state costs. So the in-state tuition and fees are $15,000. The out-of-state tuition and fees are $33,000. But you can see down here, it's still, if you're an out-of-state student, you're going to pay $48,800, a little bit over that, which is still a lot less than Bryant's $60,000. But sometimes maybe you could get some scholarships from Bryant. They're a D1 university, so maybe you're a great athlete, or maybe you can get some merit scholarships. So sometimes the schools that seem more expensive, it just depends. So usually people apply to some in-state school or some state schools and some private schools to sort of see. So the UMass Amherst, so we're going to go into my outline, UMass Amherst, so I could get the address and phone number. Let me just get, whoops, for right now, when I'm here, tuition and fees, $15,000, copy that. So this is what you're going to do for all of yours. You're going to make sure you get everything in its right spot. And at the end, you should have 3 different schools listed with all of that information filled in. And what you're going to do with that, so once you're done with that, I guess the very last thing, as you're going along for Works Cited, just start pasting in all of the links that you use. And you're going to do an actual formal Works Cited using EasyBib. But for now, you're just going to paste all the links in here, and so then that way you can do your EasyBib later on. So when I'm at UMass Amherst, I'm going to click here and copy that link. So I'm going to do my UMass one. Did I not copy it? Apparently not. Because each school is going to be a little bit different. Why are you not pasting? Oh, I know why. I'm using my wrong copy because I'm on the Mac. I apologize. Okay. So we got my big future here for that one. But you see this one says University of Massachusetts Amherst. So I need a separate one for Bryant. I need a separate one for my other school that I'm going to use. I'm going to go back to Bryant's. Because on EasyBib, it's going to give me a totally different, I'm going to go to Bryant first. So see it says Bryant University in the link. So it's gonna show something different when I do my EasyBib. So you want to definitely make sure that you're grabbing the correct links. The other thing, when I'm looking at my career choice, whatever career I chose, I need to make sure I copy the link for that particular career choice. So I'll have those at the bottom, and I'll use that for my Works Cited later on because I'm going to need that. And then what I'm going to do for all of this information, so remember we said there was multiple things that we're doing and we put them on the board, and what I have done is I put out onto everyone's Google Classroom the calendar for the final project. So in this, you will see everything that's due. So the outline is what we're working on. It's going to be due before class if you're a blue day class on the 9th, if you're a white day class on the 10th. And you can look down at the calendar here and you can see what day the 9th falls on. So that's going to be Tuesday. Before class starts, you have to have that turned in. And before class starts on the 10th, you have to, if you're a white day class, is when you have to have your outline turned in. So you do have time over the weekend to get it done if you haven't finished in class. And you can ask me, and you can stay after school as well. So that won't be a problem. And then for the college comparison, right here, you can click on the directions if you want, and you can see what you're going to do for the college comparison. So you're going to end up creating a chart comparing 3 colleges. And so this is sort of what the layout's going to look like, and you're going to do the design and make it look beautiful. And you're going to do something new this time. So remember, you're going to use formulas to calculate, because I don't want you to not use the calculations. And then you're going to create some charts as well, which you haven't done, but the directions will explain to you exactly how to do them. So they're going to walk through what to highlight and how you're going to make your charts. And so in the end, you're going to have a chart that's going to compare the colleges. It's going to be really easy to look at and see, like, okay, the tuition is here, the books are here, and that is how you're going to do the next assignment.